In 1993, a small team of Delta Force operators working under CIA authority inside Colombia provided the real-time signals intelligence intercept that pinpointed Pablo Escobar's location in a Los Olivos neighborhood safe house in Medellin. 15 months after every other American agency, including the DEA, had failed to find him. Within minutes of Delta's intercept, Colombian search block forces stormed the building and killed Escobar on a rooftop as he attempted to flee. The CIA chose Delta for this mission not because they were the best shooters, they never fired a shot, but because they were the only unit in the American military capable of disappearing inside a foreign city, running a covert intelligence operation indistinguishable from a CIA program, and maintaining absolute deniability if everything went wrong. In 2025, with cartels now officially designated as terrorist organizations and JSOC assets positioning along the southern border, that same template is being dusted off, and the stakes are exponentially higher. By the late 1980s, Pablo Escobar's Medellin cartel had become the world's dominant cocaine syndicate. Intelligence estimates put the cartel's control at 80% of the global cocaine market, generating over $30 billion a year, more than the GDP of many countries. Escobar's network flooded the United States with drugs, but its reach extended far beyond trafficking. The cartel poured its profits into a campaign of terror that directly targeted both Colombian and United States lives. On November 27, 1989, Avianca Flight 203 was destroyed by a bomb, killing all 110 people on board, including 2 United States citizens. Just 9 days later, a truck bomb outside the DAS Security Agency headquarters in Bogotá killed 52 and wounded over 600. These were not isolated attacks. Escobar's organization assassinated judges, politicians, and police officers, turning Colombia's cities into battlegrounds. The violence was systematic and public, designed to intimidate the state and force concessions. United States citizens, too, became deliberate targets, crossing a line that triggered a direct response from Washington. At the heart of this crisis was a simple calculation. If Escobar's network could not be dismantled, the Colombian government risked collapse. For the United States, the stakes were equally high. An unchecked Medellin cartel threatened not only United States public health and security, but also the credibility of American power in the hemisphere. The cost of exposure was enormous. Any sign of a United States role in an extrajudicial killing on Allied soil could spark international outrage, unravel the United States and Colombian alliance, and expose covert programs to the world. That risk shaped every decision that followed. President George H.W. Bush's administration faced a new legal reality after the deaths of 2 Americans on Avianca Flight 203 in November 1989. The attack transformed Escobar from a criminal kingpin into a threat on par with foreign terrorists. In 1991, a classified presidential finding authorized the CIA to conduct covert action against the Medellin cartel. This document did more than green-light intelligence support. It quietly approved lethal force if necessary, but only under conditions that preserved deniability. No U.S. military uniforms, no overt American presence, and no public admission of involvement would be tolerated. The language was precise. Operations had to be deniable in fact and appearance, with all the kinetic authority exercised through partners or under diplomatic cover. The legal boundaries were drawn as much by risk as by law. If the United States were caught executing a targeted killing on Colombian soil, the fallout could jeopardize the alliance, trigger international condemnation, and expose the entire covert program. Congressional oversight committees pressed the administration to prevent another Iran-Contra, a scandal born not just of action, but of exposure. The findings' constraints left the CIA with a narrow set of options. Any unit deployed had to blend into the embassy staff, operate quietly inside Bogotá, and move intelligence to Colombian hands without leaving fingerprints. Traditional military teams, SEALs, Green Berets, even the DEA's own tactical squads, were ruled out by their visibility, rules of engagement, and lack of organic signals intelligence. Only a select group, able to disappear into the diplomatic background and plug directly into CIA command, could meet both the letter and the spirit of the mandate. That set the stage for a tool built for deniability, speed, and precision: the Delta-affiliated Centra Spike team. Centra Spike operated as a compact, highly specialized cell, never more than 6 to 8 members on the ground at any time. Their footprint was deliberately small, by design and by necessity. Each operator held a diplomatic passport listed on U.S. embassy rosters as technical staff. Officially, they were communications engineers or signal support staff, blending into the embassy's daily churn. In reality, they formed the nerve center of the manhunt for Escobar, working out of a secure suite on the 5th floor, behind layers of physical and bureaucratic cover. The team's primary asset was a Beechcraft 300 King Air, registered to a nondescript embassy contract. Outfitted with a custom-built direction-finding array, the King Air flew low-altitude circuits over Medellin and Bogotá, hunting for the burst-mode radio and cellular transmissions that Escobar's network relied on. Every sweep generated a stream of intercepted signals fed directly to ground analysts via an encrypted satellite link. The hardware could triangulate a transmission to within 200 meters, far tighter than any rival system in theater. In side-by-side tests, Centra Spike's fixes outperformed CIA and NSA platforms by a factor of 20. On the ground, operators carried portable receivers, sometimes called spider kits, able to validate aerial intercepts and pinpoint a safe house or a moving vehicle in real time. All data flowed through the embassy's secure communications infrastructure, allowing the team to plug directly into CIA and NSA feeds without leaving a military trace. The entire operation ran under the embassy's technical services budget, with maintenance, logistics, and personnel rotations masked as routine diplomatic support. This structure gave Centra Spike the ability to act quickly, vanish when needed, and maintain the legal and political cover demanded by Washington. The result was a platform that could find and fix a target in the heart of hostile territory without ever showing a uniform or a weapon. Delta Force's Centra Spike team stood apart from every other American option for the Escobar mission because of 3 decisive factors. First, Centra Spike alone brought a fully integrated signals intelligence platform under JSOC control. Their Beechcraft King Air, outfitted with custom direction-finding equipment, could intercept and geolocate burst-mode radio and cellular transmissions with unmatched precision. In Colombia, side-by-side tests proved Centra Spike's fixes landed within 200 meters, while CIA and NSA platforms missed by miles. This was not just a technical edge, it was the difference between chasing shadows and pinpointing a target who changed safe houses daily and never reused a phone. Second, Delta operators matched the urban tradecraft used by the CIA. Every member completed the operator training course, mastering surveillance, moving undetected in foreign cities, and blending into embassy life. Their official cover as technical staff gave them diplomatic protection and access to secure communications, and more importantly, allowed them to operate in plain sight, with no uniforms, no visible military presence, and no risk of American commandos being caught on the street. This overlap in skills and cover let Centra Spike plug directly into the CIA's chain of command, moving intelligence seamlessly from the air to Colombian partners. Third, the mission's legal and political demands required a unit that could operate under CIA authority without sparking an international incident. The operation depended on a deniable American presence, one that could find, fix, and pass a target to Colombian hands without ever firing a shot. Inside the Colombian search block's headquarters, the daily routine moved with practiced urgency. Over 600 police officers and hand-picked soldiers cycled through briefings, radio checks, and rapid deployments, each one hoping the next tip would finally close the net on Escobar. Every morning brought fresh intelligence packets from the CIA station, intercepted calls, possible safe house locations, and fleeting signals traced by Centra Spike's King Air. The workflow was relentless but fragile. For every lead there was a countermove. Escobar's network had eyes everywhere, and the block's size, meant to insulate against corruption, could not prevent leaks. Several times raids arrived minutes too late, with beds still warm and radios abandoned mid-call. Patterns emerged. Cartel spotters shadowed police convoys, and sensitive details somehow slipped from secure rooms to the streets. Colombian commanders, trusted for their incorruptibility, grew wary of even their own ranks. The block's operational cadence, constant handoffs, encrypted transmissions, and rapid mobilizations kept pressure on the cartel, but each day without a breakthrough deepened the sense of vulnerability. The margin for error narrowed, the risk of compromise hovered over every move. At 2:13 p.m. on December 2, 1993, a burst of radio traffic from Los Olivos cut through the static. The King Air's array locked onto the signal, delivering a fix within 250 meters. Inside the embassy, a CIA analyst named John Miller matched the call sign Pablo 1 and flagged the location as high probability. Within minutes, Colonel Luis Cardenas of the search block received the encrypted packet. Tactical teams moved under the cover of a delivery van, assembling less than 2 blocks from the safe house. Night vision goggles flickered on as 2 assault teams took positions. At 2:25 p.m., the perimeter was breached. Gunfire broke out. A single 7.62mm round hit Escobar in the chest. Forensic analysis later confirmed the fatal wound, but the shooter's identity, Delta or Colombian, remained officially unresolved, a deliberate ambiguity to protect deniability. The King Air began its exfiltration run. The CIA's after-action report logged the sequence, intercept, validation, handoff, kinetic finish, all within 17 minutes. The operation's success rested on real-time signals intelligence, seamless analyst validation, and a command chain engineered for deniability. The model, find, fix, finish, then vanish, became policy. On January 20th, 2025, new executive orders designated Mexican cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, unlocking authorities to deploy similar capabilities. The question now is not just how far these tools can reach, but whether the legal and ethical lines that once constrained them will hold. Today, American authorities quietly revived the same covert playbook, Delta's deniable intelligence edge, not brute force, as the scalpel against cartels now labeled terrorist threats. When the line between law enforcement and war blurs, the real risk is not who pulls the trigger, but who decides the target.